So all the stuff that's going on with the protesting across the country, I see this video, okay? I see these two videos I'm going to send you, okay? One of them is a student who is simply trying to go to his classroom in UCLA in a civil way. Rob, if you can play this clip, I just texted you. And then I'm going to send you the second one, which students come in the morning to wake up the entire kids that are protesting in the school with a good morning Vietnam at 4:30 in the morning. You have to see both. But first watch this one here. This is a student that goes to UCLA, and they're simply not letting them go to class, okay? Rob, if you can play this, okay? So this is the kind of stuff that is starting to get a little old. And it's getting annoying where parents and students are sitting there. Watch this here. Watch this kid. And see if he sounds like a reasonable kid. Go for it.
The entrance. We are UCLA students. I have my ID right here. I'm being blocked off, not by the security guard, but by you two. You three. Oh, look, they're making their burger while I'm going this way. Excuse me. This is what they do. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. I'm a UCLA student. I deserve to go here. We pay tuition. This is our school. And they're not letting me walk in. My class is over there. I want to use that entrance. Why can't I go? Will you let me go in?
This is okay to happen.
This could be over in a second. Just let me and my friends.
This is okay
go
in America.
Yeah, we're the cops. We're the police.
The cops are worried about getting involved.
Will you move?
Watch this.
Okay, we're going. We're going. I'm going in. I have my hands up. I'm not hurting them. You guys have closed the entrance.
So this is
reasonable
UCLA. UCLA. And then look at this other guy. It's like, okay, you want to do this? No problem. Let's have some fun. So watch what these guys are doing, okay? You know, obviously they're trolling and they're having fun with this. Look at this, 4:30 in the morning. These guys are sleeping on UCLA campuses. The whatever Israel demonstrate. Watch this here.
Robin Williams.
Watch.
Wake up, commies! Wake up! Wake up!
Can you imagine on campus? You know, first of all, the fact that this can even happen. I want to play another clip for you, old school. Okay, tell me if you like this guy's approach. This guy used to be a president. Some people love him. At one point, I think he won 49 out of 50 states. Look at the approach he took with protesters and tell me how many similarities you see with him and our current president, Mr. Joseph Biden. Rob, if you can play this clip, maybe this is a good video for some people that want to be presidents in the future. They should watch and study. Here's a guy named Ronald Reagan. Rob, if you got the clip, I think it's one of them. Maybe I sent you. Did I not send a new one? No, I did send you a new one. It's the one that ends with NXAW. NXAW is the last. Do you see it or no, Rob? Okay, if you can play that one here.
So you said, like, what is Ronald Reagan? Where is he at?
Well, you have to see this.
Okay.
This is highlights.
Okay.
It's like the highlight reel of Ronald Reagan dealing with protesters. Watch this and how he handles media. Go ahead.
Okay.
People told you for days in advance that if the university sought to go ahead with that construction, they were going to physically destroy the university. Why did you
negotiate many times?
Negotiate? What is to negotiate? What is...
The university is a public institution.
That's right. But the university...
its own community and for the community of Berkeley that live around it.
All of it began the first time some of you who know better and are old enough to know better let young people think that they had the right to choose the laws they would obey as long as they were doing it in the name of social protest.
I'm sick and tired of the argument about whether some effort to enforce law and order is going to escalate anything at all. Plain truth of the matter is this has to stop, and it has to stop like the day before yesterday.
I would like to propose that the issue is that on the campuses, you who are adults, you who are entrusted with those young people and their guidance, have a responsibility to make it plain to them from the very beginning that you yourselves do not tolerate the kind of conduct that has led to the burning of Wheeler Hall, that has led to 2 murders on the campus of UCLA.
You created an atmosphere on campus where no one wants to listen.
You are a liar.
I have read and I have been questioned since I've been here about certain demonstrations against my coming. And I would like to say just one thing, and to those who demonstrate so. I wonder if they have ever asked themselves that if they should have the kind of government they apparently seek, no one would ever be able to do what they're doing again.
Anything, and I have a feeling that if you check closely on some of the more militant of those leaders who are advocating violence, you will find that if you settle whatever issue it is that has them worked up today, they'll be back tomorrow morning with another issue. But I think the time has come for them to make a choice and to decide whether they want to continue to even tolerate these false prophets in their midst who are, if anything, destroying their own community.
I don't think that taking to the streets and rioting and disorder has ever solved anything or ever will.
Those who would trade our freedom for the soup kitchen of the welfare state have told us they have a utopian solution of peace without victory. They call their policy accommodation. And they say if we'll only avoid any direct confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways and learn to love us. All who oppose them are indicted as warmongers. They say we offer simple answers to complex problems. Well, perhaps there is a simple answer. Not an easy answer, but simple. If you and I have the courage to tell our elected officials that we want our national policy based on what we know in our hearts is morally right, we cannot buy our security, our freedom from the threat of the bomb, by committing an immorality so great as saying to 1 billion human beings now enslaved behind the Iron Curtain, give up your dreams of freedom.
That's right. Wow.
Because to save our own skins, we're willing to make a deal with your slave masters.
Recently, in some places in the nation,
well, here's what I want you to think about. Notice, audience, if you're watching this, I'm talking to you, one-on-one, you and I. Notice you did not get bored for a single second. You know why? Because everybody loves strong leadership. There's a reason why when this guy got elected and is giving a speech on January 20th, I believe 81, whatever the date is, minutes before that, a man named Khomeini released 52 American hostages because they knew what this guy was capable of doing. Do you know how long it took for, what's her name? Griner. What's her first name?
Brittany
Griner. Do you know how long they kept her in Russia? Do you know for how many months? Do you know why? Because Putin doesn't fear what Biden has to say. Do you know how many prisoners right now are being held by other countries, Hamas, whatever you want? You know for
10
how
months.
10 months. Do you know why? They don't fear what our current president has to say. They asked him, what do you want to say to the people of Iran about attacking? Don't. No one listened to you. America is desperately in need of a strong leader. Desperately. Let that be a lesson when you're watching this in universities and campuses. Since when have these deans not had the backbone to say, get the hell off the campus? Since when have these deans not had the backbone to call the cops and said, these guys are breaking the law, arrest these guys. What are you doing? Get the hell out of here. Go find a place to live. You don't want to be here? Get the hell out of the school. You don't want to go to UCLA? Go somewhere else. Go to a public school. Go to a community college. Since when do these leaders, soft leaders, sit around accepting these kids walking around as if they own this place? Life doesn't work that way. And a lot of these people that are sitting there worried about, God forbid, we may lose their vote. They may not like us. They may say something bad about us in a video, and a video may go viral. The other day, I think a video went viral of a TikToker who's a OnlyFans girl said Biden's administration. Did you see this one?
Administration was paying them to do propaganda on the side.
Biden's administration was paying this OnlyFans girl to talk about good things about. This is the one. Watch this clip here.
Yeah. This is that's
play
the founder on the right.
Watch this.
Spring semester of my senior year, and I was like, fuck, I finally have to start applying for law school. And then, like, you know, female privilege, life is so easy for a woman. Obviously, I lucked out. I'm just kidding. I lucked out, and then, you know, TikTok was basically full-time for me. I think I was taking ads by the time I graduated college from, like, the Biden administration and Planned Parenthood and, like, dating apps and stuff. So it was, like, fully financially, you know, sustaining.
So you were getting, the Biden administration was buying ads from you?
Yeah, I was doing full-on political propaganda.
And they would just say, oh, really? With, like, what kind of, like, Biden created 10 million jobs?
Yeah, honestly. And the funny thing is, they're like, do not disclose this is an ad, because, you know, they're like, technically it's not a product, so you don't have to disclose it's an ad. Because I think they just wanted, like, some edgy girl of color to just tell people, like, when they nominated, like, Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're like, can you say, like, as a person of color, you know, that you feel reflected? And it's like a white woman emailing this to me, and she's like giving me this script, and I'm like, no. And she's like, please. And I'm like, no, I'll like talk about the news of it, but I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna have a white person tell me to be like, you know, this is how I feel as a person of color. Like, it's just so
common sense.
I think that blackboard slightly on, like, you know,
people are being exposed. Now listen, I don't know the truth of this story or not, quite frankly. This is an OnlyFans model. Is that what this is?
She's a creator.
Well,
she's been
on Southcast multiple times.
She started OnlyFans.
Yeah, her name is Farha.
Yeah.
And she'll be on next week.
But when you see something like this, that all the stuff that they're using, young kids, all this other stuff to say what they're saying here, and she is publicly not talking about it, Planned Parenthood, just say these words, woman of color, by a white woman. Common sense. Somebody says they're independent. Yesterday I had this Ukrainian, Russian-born Congresswoman, Victoria Spartz, on here, talking about how, what these guys are standing for and what they're saying. Woman of color, spin it that way so we can get people to relate to you, so we can get people to kind of say, yeah, wow, what's going on? What a great job Biden is doing. More and more people are being exposed right now with this nonsense. And these independent voters, I want to speak to you. If you're Democrat, you're going to vote Democrat. I'm not talking to you. If you're Republican, you're going to vote the Republican. Do your thing, okay? Independent voters, they're dividing this country. They're doing it in a way that is very weird. I asked a question of this lady yesterday. When we were doing podcast prep, Tom said something yesterday. Tom said the system is what? You said 3 steps, right? I said, Tom, what are they using this crisis for? And you said step number 1 is claim civil unrest, is what you said, okay? So if all of a sudden these protest things going on in universities, by the way, you know when George Floyd happened?
2020.
Same month?
You know what month? May 25th of 2020.
Weird.
Can you pull it up real quick? Pull up May 25th of 26th of 20. What is it?
2 months into COVID.
May 26th of 2020. Right. So check this out. May 26th of 2020, George Floyd happens. How many months after that is election? 5 months and a week.
Lighting the fuse.
5 months and a week. So what trend? I'm a person that when we're sitting there and monitoring, we have a guy right now, one of our insurance, you're watching this guy saying, when did he start doing bad quality business? When did he get desperate to write this? Then we go to the bottom of it. Shit. Okay. This has been going on for 9 months after this happened. It's not hard to see trends and bad habits that some people pick up because there's a personal crisis going on in your life. So notice here. So they're warming it up in April. They're using college kids. What do you think is going to happen if a student gets shot on the campus and this person becomes the next George Floyd? This person becomes, we are worried of what they're doing to you, and we want to protect you, Vinny, from what they can possibly do to your kids. This is civil unrest. Then I went and looked at when's the last time we used martial law. Martial law was used in the state of Arkansas, I believe. If you can pull up times in America, we've used martial law. And there's a history about it. We used it once in 2007, okay? So if you can look at martial law, when it was used, I think that's the one that you had, Rob, and specifically when this thing was used. You'll see all the way at the bottom, if you can Google Arkansas. I think the last story that they have is Arkansas. Which state was that? You'll find it. Anyways, one of the states does martial law. When they do martial law in 2007, it is a state. So what if they do civil unrest in the 6 states and counties that matter the most? They use martial law to shut things down, and people in certain counties and districts can't get out to vote. You win the election. Mm-hmm. So check this out. The playbook is very simple. What state was it, Rob? Alabama? No, in 1961, 1961, Alabama. Look at that. So in 1961, Governor Patterson of Alabama declared martial law as a result of outside agitators coming into Alabama to violate our laws and customs, which had to outbreaks of lawlessness and mob action. The outside agitators were freedom riders, peaceful civil rights activists challenging the already illegal racial segregation in the South. Now, obviously, we know what's going on during that time, right, that era. But today, what if they use it today in pro-Palestine and the enemy is all the people on the opposing side? What if they keep protesting right now and, God forbid, someone dies? And you know what's crazy? In a dark, deceptive way, that's exactly what they need to use. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what they need to use to increase the temperature in America. And because of this,
one spark.
And if it happens in specific markets, you were talking about a protesting they're doing. Can you show the clip, Rob, that Vinny's talking about with the Nazis on the U-Haul?
They're what they call the. Hold on 1 second.
Yep. They need their new George Floyd. Not to use his name like that. But they need a George Floyd. They want a George Floyd.
So these are, by the way, Patriot Front members being arrested. By the way, this is one. If this doesn't, and then Rob, you have the other one, right? That's them marching. For anybody out there that even has half of a brain, these guys are
claiming to be Nazis.
They're claiming to be Nazis. It's so obvious. Yeah, go ahead, show these guys.
Stay on the sidewalk.
They're all in such great shape.
Yeah, why is it that all Nazis have an average age of 32 and good body mass index?
Khakis, iron cargo pants. They're fashionable fascists. Look, by the way, as a police, as an officer, and all the cops out there know, you have to unmask these people immediately.
How come they're not unmasked?
Isn't that because you don't want an undercover Fed, an informant, to show his face? They're paying these people to do this, and you just nailed it. Now you see them coming up. They're making arrests. They're setting up strategically these people. And then Rob, I sent you a photo. For anybody that says the FBI wouldn't do something like this, wake up. Okay, look at dear Feds.
At least change the uniform.
It's the same outfit. Okay, keep that. They're gonna keep.
My concern with this, guys, it's very simple, guys. In every dispute, in every fight, when something gets out of control, our job is to try to lower the temp.
It's not happening.
And not to fall for manipulation. That is my biggest concern. Is that people will fall for these traps. We know a big portion of America is going to fall for it. Some of them are going to fall for it because they need it to vote the way they're going to vote.
Of course. Okay? Like Russian collusion?
Some of them are going to need it, right?
Yeah.
To vote, because it validates why they're making the right decision, right? However, to the 43% that RFK said we have the biggest independent block of voters ever. Tulsi repeated that number when we're sitting down with her last week. To the 43% of people that are independent voters, you cannot be naive. This happened May 26th. Last year was George Floyd. Tensions are high in universities right now. If, God forbid, something happens to a student and they're able to increase it this time, they will use the Muslim and Jew division in America as the crisis.
I agree.
They will use that division in America as the crisis. And they'll increase the temp, and they'll get people to fall for it, and then they'll try to win the election. They're going to try to do anything and everything to win it, and the independents have to be aware of it.
I hope, pray to God that they do wake up, because let's face the facts, guys. Donald Trump is the front runner. He is the Teflon. Everything that they're doing is not working. They cannot let this man win. And I think you nailed it, Pat. Something's going to... By the way, they keep warning us. Christopher Wray keeps warning us. Tony Blinken keeps warning us. This Black Swan event is coming. Remember the terrorist that they caught at the border that was like, soon you're going to know my name? He could easily just go to one of these one of these schools and be like, hey, guys, guess what? It's done. It's a wrap, and it's over.
It is so easy in this playbook, and I think step one, use civil unrest. Declare martial law. Under martial law, you suspend sales of ammunition. And then your next step is central bank digital currency. Now you control how people can use money and what they can buy and what they can't. It is such a simple formula for long-term reclaim of the government, and it's a coup from within. It's such a simple formula. But you can also use it to alter 2 days in the life of America, which alters an election, which alters the leadership for the next 4 years. It's such an easy playbook. Don't fall for it. Don't get upset. Don't be the one that flashes the flame at the flashpoint.
This is why the Free Palestine movement is the new BLM. In 2016, it was the Me Too movement. In 2020, it was BLM and George Floyd. In 2024, it's Gays for Gaza. And the Free Palestine movement has been hijacked by left-wing dark money and extreme far-right Islamic right money. It is what it is. So who's falling victim, who's falling prey to what's going on right now? Well, it's Gen Z. Gen Z is the most confused, indoctrinated generation of all time. They were the only generation in the history of this world that was born to a social media phone in their hand. This is the TikTok generation. That is the literal nickname of Gen Z. So you see these protests at Cornell, at Columbia, at Texas, Minnesota, GW, Emory. These are all 18 to 24-year-old kids. Now, all these kids have been faced with two things. They started college during COVID, and they're ending college during this election cycle. They've been indoctrinated. They have no mind of their own. They've been completely brainwashed by TikTok. Now, they say that when you're young, if you're not a liberal, you have no heart. If you're older and you have no brain, if you have no brain, if you're not a conservative, you have no brain. They doing what they feel is right. But we all know that facts don't care about your feelings. There's something called the horseshoe theory, where the far right and the far left politically are not as far or as extreme as you would think. They're actually closer in theory. So the far right, this is if you want like gays for Gaza, what? In Israel, is a deep and vibrant gay community. I went there, I was like, wow, this place is gay.
And they're like, Adam,
in
you're
Tel
home.
Aviv. Yeah. I was like, no, I'm going to go over here to the club. And you could show an image. But in Gaza, or in many extreme communities, they will literally kill you.
By the way, you know what's crazy? You're saying this. This validates exactly what Reagan said.
Mm-hmm.
What you're protesting for would prevent you, if a country becomes the country you want it to be, would prevent you from being able to protest in the future. You can't go do gays for Gaza in Gaza.
In Gaza.
You know what they're going to do to you?
They'll throw you off a roof, they'll behead you, they'll stone you.
What you thought that man did to that boy at the snookers tournament, they're going to do to you with all those fruits in ways that you will have nightmare for the rest of your life. Anyways.
Or just drop you off a building.
Yeah,
this is why these people are useful idiots, and this comes back down to Biden. Do you see the approval rating of amongst Gen Z to Biden, young people?
What is it?
80% disapprove. There it is right there. 81% disapprove of this particular thing. So, you know, in the Bible, they say no one can serve two masters.
Yeah.
This is what Biden's problem is right now. He's funding Israel while he's also trying to appease the Gays for Gaza movement, the Free Palestine. And it all intersectionality happens in Michigan. This is why they say, as Michigan goes, so the election.
By the way, this
is
big.
what's happening
This
right
is
now.
big, by the way.
Exactly.
81%, 19%.
Exactly.
That's with who you said, Gen Zs?
This is 18 to 35.
18 to 35.
So this is the younger millennials all the way down to the youngest Gen Z.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
This is the reason why Genocide Joe is going to lose the election, and this is why he's trying to appease.
Let me go to this. To this. So, we announced the Manek contest to come have dinner with us at Casa D'Angelo and go have dinner. Rob, go to the Leaders Bulletin. Folks, if you want to see the Leaders Bulletin, just go to Manek.com, and all the way at the top, you'll see a Leaders Bulletin. Click on it. The video explains how to compete. It's whoever Maneks the most, both as experts, influencers, and those who ask others. As a user, you can compete on this, Rob. You can stay on that if you want. Just stay on that. Oh, you have the categories of where they are. But I want to see how many Maneks people are doing, and then we'll go to that. So right now, if you look at this, new experts on Manek, lightweight, if you look at it, zoom in, Rob, Tulsi Gabbard has officially completed 72 Maneks that she has responded to, by the way, on Manek. Second place so far is Brandon Davis. Then it's Santino Tostani. John Ray is competing, but he's fourth place, and he got the rest of the folks. Even Ryan Garcia's at seventh place, by the way.
I love it.
And by the way, I think he's responded to every single Manek he's gotten, and he responds in audio. So it's not like he responds. Rob, go to the other category for middleweight. If you look at middleweight, Fernando is still first place at 46. This is people that pre-announced in the contest. They were on here from April 16th. He's done 46 questions he's responded to. He's first place. He'd be invited to the dinner. Then it's Patterson, Tomo's third place. Look at the next.
Guys, get Kelly some of the next. Get her up there.
Kelly. Dame Dash is even on there at sixth place. Go to the last category. Heavyweight. First place is Dustin. Not even close. 138.
Dustin is
crushing it.
Calvin G, 77. Chris Cuomo, third place.
44.
And then you got everybody else. Now, Rob, go to home team. Go to home team. Who's dominating? Okay, dominating Vincent Oshana, 281.
Wow. Thank you, everybody. I love you.
Vinny.
Then it's Tom, 204. Adam, 75.
We're trying to catch up.
But I'll tell you guys here what's going on here in a minute with Vinny. Go down to the bottom with the people asking most questions. This is how you use Manek is slowly but surely becoming the most a popular networking app because 95% of the time the people respond to you. Yeah. You want an answer back? Pay for it. You want to be waiting for 3 months? DM somebody on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. If you're lucky. By the way, the number of people getting back to you, if you DM them, is less than 3%. On some apps, is 1%. Manek does 91 to 95%. Look at the people asking the most questions. Show that real quick, Rob. So in first place is who? Zoom in a little bit, Rob, if you could, for the Terrell Hall, 76. Eddie Gossiker, 71 questions he's asked other Manectors. Eric Link 67. Very competitive, by the way, here. Now go to the other side for people that have been using Manek pre-April. Dustin is asking questions. Ozzy second place one. So far, it hasn't even been 2 weeks. And top three, they're all above 100. Jeanette, Lahose, who comes to all the lives that we do, John Ray. Okay, so here's what I want to do, Rob. If you can go to all the QR codes, how many of you watching this, be honest, who here loves Vinny? Okay? Who here loves Vinny?
I do.
If you love Vinny, today is Vinny's birthday.
Good man.
Okay, tomorrow is birthday, but today's Mario, and tomorrow we're not doing a podcast tomorrow.
Yeah.
So listen, today, tomorrow, if you love Vinny, you want to wish him a happy birthday, go on here, connect with him, send him some love, wish him a happy birthday. I'd like to see him get 200 plus Maneks today to cross 2,000. I'd like to see him get that. Send him some love. At the same time, you can connect Adam, myself, or Tom. And FYI, for those of you guys that haven't yet started competing, download the app. Start connecting today. Right now, if it ended today, Rob, can you go to the flyer showing who the top people are right now? We're going to give away belts, by the way.
Really?
The lightweight champion would have been Tulsi if it's today.
Tulsi.
Okay, the middleweight champion would be Fernando if it ended today. Heavyweight would be Dustin. The home team would be Vinny. For new users, it would be Terrell. And for existing users, it'd be Dustin.
Does have 2 belts.
He'd be having
We'd have 2 belts.
Listen, we're going to give it to him at Casa D'Angelo. Everybody at first place will be at the main table. Anyways, so there's a QR code at the top. Download it.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.